First contact, the vastness of space stretched endlessly before Captain Aria Chen as she guided her small survey ship, the Stargazer, through the asteroid field surrounding the uncharted planet XB 427. After months of solitary exploration, Aria's nerves tingled with anticipation. This mysterious world, with its swirling purple atmosphere and twin moons, promised new discoveries that could change humanity's understanding of the universe. As the Stargazer broke through the planet's upper atmosphere, alarms blared throughout the cockpit. Aria's hands flew across the control panel, fighting to stabilize the ship against unexpected gravitational forces. "Come on, old girl," she muttered through gritted teeth, willing the spacecraft to hold together. With a bone-jarring thud, the Stargazer skidded to a halt on the planet's rocky surface. Aria took a deep breath, running a quick systems check. Despite some damage to the hull, life support and basic functions remained operational. She'd need to make repairs before attempting to leave the planet, but for now she was safe. A grin spread across her face as she pulled on her protective suit and helmet. This wasn't the landing she'd planned, but it was an opportunity for boots-on-the-ground exploration. The airlock hissed open, and Aria stepped out onto the alien world. The landscape before her was a symphony of otherworldly colors: deep purple soil, towering crystalline structures that shimmered with an inner light, and patches of vegetation that seemed to pulse with bioluminescence. The air, while breathable according to her sensors, carried an odd metallic tang. As Aria collected samples and recorded observations, a faint sound caught her attention. It was unlike anything she'd heard before, a cross between a whimper and a melodic hum. Curiosity piqued, she followed the noise to a nearby ravine. There, huddled in the shadow of a glowing crystal formation, was a sight that made her heart race. A small, trembling figure that was unmistakably non-human. The alien child, for Aria was certain it was a juvenile, had skin that shifted colors like oil on water. Its large, multifaceted eyes reflected the bioluminescent plants around them, and delicate tendrils quivered atop its head. The creature's body was emaciated, its movements weak and uncoordinated. Aria's training told her to maintain distance, to observe and report but not interfere. But as she watched the alien child struggle to reach a patch of glowing vegetation, something deeper than protocols stirred within her. This wasn't just a scientific specimen, it was a living being in desperate need of help. "Hey there, little one," Aria said softly, kneeling a short distance away. The alien's head snapped toward her, eyes wide with a mix of fear and curiosity. Aria held out her hands, palms up, in what she hoped was a universal gesture of peace. "It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you." The alien child made a series of clicks and warbles, its color shifting rapidly. Aria's universal translator struggled to make sense of the sounds, but the meaning was clear enough. The creature was terrified and starving. Moving slowly, Aria reached into her pack and pulled out an emergency ration bar. She unwrapped it and broke off a small piece, placing it on the ground between them. The alien's gaze darted between Aria and the food, conflict evident in its trembling form. "Go on," Aria encouraged. "It's not much, but it should be safe for you to eat." After a moment's hesitation, the alien darted forward with surprising speed, snatching the morsel and retreating to its previous spot. It sniffed the food cautiously before popping it into its mouth. The effect was immediate. The alien's color stabilized to a soft blue, and a sound like tinkling bells emanated from its body. Aria couldn't help but smile. "You like that, huh? There's plenty more where that came from." Over the next hour, Aria slowly gained the alien child's trust. She offered more food and used simple gestures to communicate. The creature began to mimic her movements, revealing an intelligence that both excited and humbled the human explorer. As the planet's twin suns began to set, casting long shadows across the crystalline landscape, Aria faced a decision. Her mission parameters were clear: observe, document, and avoid interference with any life forms encountered. But leaving this child alone on a harsh, unfamiliar world went against everything she believed in. The alien, seeming to sense her internal conflict, crept closer. It reached out a delicate, six-fingered hand and touched Aria's suit. A jolt of emotion flooded through her, not her own, but a complex mix of fear, hope, and loneliness that could only be coming from the child. At that moment, Aria knew she couldn't leave the alien behind. Whatever consequences she might face, whatever interstellar laws she might be breaking, the right choice was clear. "All right, little one," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "Let's get you somewhere safe." As Aria scooped up the alien child, cradling it gently in her arms, a distant rumble caught her attention. She turned to see a massive ship breaking through the planet's atmosphere, a design she didn't recognize, but one that was unmistakably advanced and almost certainly not of human origin. Fear gripped Aria's heart. Had she stumbled into some kind of interstellar conflict? Was this child a refugee? Whatever the case, her instincts screamed that the approaching ship meant danger for both her and her new alien companion. "Hang on tight," Aria whispered to the child. "We're going to have to move fast." With the alien secure in her arms, Aria sprinted back toward the stargazer. The sound of the approaching ship grew louder, and beams of light began to sweep the rocky terrain. Aria's mind raced as she formulated a plan. The stargazer wasn't fully repaired, but it would have to do. They needed to get off this planet and fast. As Aria reached her ship, a piercing shriek filled the air. She turned to see several tall, armored figures emerging from the larger craft. Their movements were precise and menacing, weapons raised as they scanned the area. The alien child buried its face against Aria's chest, its body trembling violently. Whatever, or whoever, these new arrivals were, it was clear the child wanted nothing to do with them. Aria made a split-second decision. She sealed the stargazer's airlock and rushed to the cockpit, strapping the alien child into the co-pilot's seat. "I don't know if you can understand me," she said as her hands flew over the controls, "but we're getting out of here. Together." The stargazer's engines rolled to life, drawing the attention of the armed figures. Energy blasts peppered the ship's hull as Aria engaged the thrusters. With a silent prayer to whatever cosmic forces might be listening, she pulled back on the controls, and the small survey vessel lifted off the alien world's surface. As they broke through the atmosphere, alarms blared once again. The ship's systems were strained, damage from the earlier crash making their escape all the more perilous. Aria's years of training kicked in as she navigated through the asteroid field, pushing the stargazer to its limits. A quick glance at the radar showed the larger ship in pursuit. Aria's mind raced through possible options. The stargazer wasn't built for combat or high-speed chases. Their only hope was to reach the nearby nebula. Its intense radiation and gravitational distortions would make it difficult for the larger ship to follow. "Hold on, little one," Aria called out as she executed a series of evasive maneuvers. The alien child chirped in response, its colors shifting rapidly in what Aria assumed was a mix of fear and excitement. As they entered the nebula, brilliant colors swirled around the viewscreen. The pursuing ship fell back, unable to safely navigate the treacherous space. Aria allowed herself a small sigh of relief, but she knew they weren't out of danger yet. With the immediate threat behind them, Aria set a course for the nearest human outpost. As the stargazer cruised through the cosmic storm, she turned her attention to her unexpected passenger. The alien child was curled up in the co-pilot's seat, its large eyes taking in the spectacular view before them. "I suppose we should figure out what to call you," Aria mused. The child tilted its head, tendrils waving gently. "How about Nova? It means new star in my language, and you've certainly brought some unexpected light into my life." The alien, Nova, trilled softly, its color shifting to a warm golden hue. Aria smiled, feeling a connection that transcended species and language barriers. As the stargazer continued its journey through the nebula, Aria knew that her life, and potentially the course of human history had changed forever. She had no idea what challenges lay ahead, but one thing was certain: she would do whatever it took to protect Nova and uncover the mystery of its origins. The vastness of space stretched out before them, full of danger and possibility. Area Chen, once a lone explorer, now found herself the unlikely guardian of an alien child. Together, they would face whatever the universe had in store, two beings from different worlds united by circumstance and the universal language of compassion. As the first part of their adventure came to a close, Arya couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement for what lay ahead. The journey to the human outpost would be long and fraught with danger, but she was ready to face it. With Nova by her side, she felt a renewed sense of purpose and a determination to uncover the truths hidden among the stars. Quantum bonds. The stargazer drifted silently through the shimmering veils of the Andromeda Nebula, its hull bearing the scars of their narrow escape. In the cockpit, Arya Chen watched as Nova, the alien child she had rescued, pressed its delicate hands against the viewscreen. The creature's skin rippled with patterns that seemed to mimic the swirling gases outside, a mesmerizing display of bioluminescence that never failed to captivate Arya. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Arya murmured, more to herself than to Nova. To her surprise, the alien turned and trilled softly, its multifaceted eyes reflecting the cosmic light show. For a moment, Arya could have sworn she felt a flicker of emotion that wasn't her own, a sense of wonder tinged with longing. A sudden alarm jolted them both from their reverie. Arya's hands flew across the control panel, her brow furrowing as she interpreted the readouts. "That's not good," she muttered, turning to Nova. "We're low on fuel, and the life support systems are starting to fail. We need to find somewhere to land, and fast." As if in response to her words, a massive shape loomed out of the nebulous haze. Arya's jaw dropped as she took in the sight before them. It was a space station, but unlike any she had ever encountered in her years of exploration. The structure seemed to defy the laws of physics, its architecture a blend of organic curves and impossible geometries that hurt her eyes as she looked too long. "Unidentified vessel, you have entered restricted space," a voice crackled over the comm system, speaking in perfect English. "State your purpose or prepare to be neutralized." Arya swallowed hard, keenly aware of Nova's nervous chittering beside her. "This is Captain Arya Chen of the Earth Survey ship Stargazer," she responded, trying to keep her voice steady. "We've suffered damage and are in need of emergency docking. We come in peace and seek assistance." There was a long pause, during which Arya held her breath. Finally, the voice returned. "Acknowledged, Stargazer. You are cleared for docking in Bay 7. Be advised that any hostile actions will be met with lethal force." As the Stargazer was guided into the massive docking bay, Arya's mind raced. The station's technology was clearly far beyond anything humanity had achieved. Could this be Nova's people, or perhaps some unknown advanced civilization? The moment they touched down, the ship was bathed in a strange, shimmering field. Arya's instruments went haywire, and she felt a tingling sensation across her skin. Beside her, Nova let out a series of excited chirps, its tendrils waving frantically. "Easy there, little one," Arya soothed, unstrapping herself and the alien child. "Let's not rush into anything. We don't know what's waiting for us out there." As if on cue, the Stargazer's airlock hissed open. Arya tensed, ready for anything, or so she thought. Nothing could have prepared her for the beings that glided into her ship. They were humanoid in shape, but that's where the similarities ended. Their bodies seemed to be composed of pure energy, shifting and flowing like living auroras. Where faces should have been, there were intricate patterns of light that somehow conveyed expression and emotion. "Welcome, travelers," one of the beings spoke, its voice resonating directly in Arya's mind. "We are the Quantum Collective. Your arrival has been foreseen." Arya blinked, struggling to process what she was seeing and hearing. "Foreseen? I don't understand. We just stumbled upon your station by chance." The being's lights pulsed in what Arya interpreted as amusement. "There is no such thing as chance in a quantum universe, Captain Chen. Every possibility exists simultaneously until observed. Your journey here was both inevitable and impossible until this very moment." Nova chirped excitedly, stretching out its arms towards the energy beings. To Arya's amazement, tendrils of light extended from the quantum collective, gently enveloping the alien child. A complex series of colors and patterns flowed between them, and Arya felt a surge of emotions that weren't her own: joy, recognition, and a profound sense of homecoming. "The child you call Nova is known to us," another of the energy beings explained. "It is a nexus, a rare being capable of bridging quantum realities. Its people, the Lumina, have long been our allies in maintaining the delicate balance of the multiverse." Arya's head spun with the implications. Multiverse, quantum realities. I'm just a survey captain. This is way beyond my pay grade. The first being approached Arya, its light dimming to a soft glow. "And yet, of all the infinite possibilities, you are the one who found and protected the Nexus child. That is no small thing, Arya Chen. You have set in motion events that will reshape the very fabric of existence." Before Arya could respond, alarms blared throughout the station. The Quantum Collective's lights flared with urgency. "The Voidborn approach," one of them announced. "They seek to capture the Nexus and use its power to collapse all realities into eternal darkness." The ship that was chasing us, Arya realized with a chill. "They're coming here." Indeed, the being confirmed. "And they will stop at nothing to achieve their goal. The fate of all existence now rests in our hands, and in the bond you formed with the Nexus child." Arya looked down at Nova, who gazed back with trust and determination in its multifaceted eyes. In that moment, she knew that her life would never be the same. She was no longer just an explorer of uncharted planets, but a guardian of reality itself. "All right," Arya said, squaring her shoulders. "What do we need to do?" The Quantum Collective surrounded Arya and Nova, their energy pulsing with purpose. "We must awaken the Nexus's true potential," they explained. "And to do that, we need your help, Arya Chen. Your human capacity for emotion, for hope in the face of impossible odds, is the key to unlocking powers beyond imagination." As the station shuddered under the first assault from the Voidborn ships, Arya took Nova's hand in hers. "I don't fully understand what's happening," she admitted, "but I promise you this, little one, whatever comes next, we face it together." Nova's skin shimmered with patterns of starlight, and Arya felt a surge of courage and determination that transcended species. As human and alien stood united, surrounded by beings of pure quantum energy, the battle for the very nature of reality was about to begin. The Quantum Collective's voices resonated in unison. "Prepare yourselves. The next phase of your journey will challenge everything you think you know about the universe and yourselves." With a blinding flash of light, Arya, Nova, and their new allies vanished from the docking bay, ready to face whatever incredible and terrifying adventures awaited them across the quantum realms. Chronosynclastic infundibulum. The universe folded around Arya and Nova like origami made of starlight. One moment, they were aboard the Quantum Collective's impossible space station. The next, they were hurtling through a kaleidoscopic tunnel of fractalized realities. Arya's mind struggled to process the torrent of information assaulting her senses. Entire civilizations rose and fell in the blink of an eye, alternate histories played out like fevered dreams, and the laws of physics bent and twisted like taffy. "Hold on, Nova," Arya shouted, gripping the alien child tightly. Nova's skin pulsed with rapid-fire patterns, its tendrils intertwining with Arya's fingers. The bond between them seemed to anchor them in the chaotic stream of quantum possibilities. With a soundless explosion of color, they emerged into nothingness. An endless void stretched in all directions, devoid of stars or any recognizable celestial bodies. Arya floated in the vacuum, her breath catching in her throat as she realized her spacesuit was gone. Yet somehow she could breathe. Welcome to the chronosynclastic infundibulum, a familiar voice echoed in her mind. One of the quantum collective materialized beside them, its energy form rippling with complex equations. This is the nexus point where all timelines converge and diverge. Here, we can observe the flow of causality itself. Nova chirped excitedly, its body elongating and shifting into impossible geometries before snapping back to its familiar form. Arya watched in amazement as the alien child seemed to instinctively grasp concepts that made her head spin. "I don't understand," Arya admitted. "How are we even alive here? And what exactly are we supposed to do?" The quantum being pulsed with what Arya interpreted as patience. "Your human perceptions limit you, Arya Chen. Here, in the space between moments, you exist as pure potential. As for our purpose," the being gestured, and the void around them erupted into a web of glowing threads, each one a timeline stretching into infinity. "The Voidborn seek to unravel this tapestry of realities," the collective explained. "They believe that by collapsing all possibilities into a single, unchanging void, they can achieve perfect order. But such stasis is anathema to the very nature of existence." Arya's eyes widened as she began to grasp the scale of the threat. "And Nova? Where does the little one fit into all this?" As if in response, Nova's body began to glow with an intensity that rivaled the timeline threads. The alien child reached out, gently plucking at the strands like a cosmic harpist. With each touch, new possibilities blossomed, entire universes spiraling into being. "The Nexus has the power to harmonize discordant realities," the quantum being explained. "It can weave new paths through the probabilistic landscape, creating bridges between timelines that should never intersect. This is what the Voidborn fear, and what they seek to control." Suddenly, the glowing weg shuddered. Inky tendrils of anti-light began seeping through the spaces between timelines, corrupting everything they touched. Arya felt a chill of primal fear as she recognized the Voidborn's influence spreading through reality itself. "They're here," she whispered. The quantum being's form crackled with urgency. "We must act now. Arya, you must guide the Nexus. Your human intuition, your capacity for lateral thinking and emotional connection. These are the keys to unlocking Nova's full potential." Arya looked at Nova, saw the trust and determination in its multifaceted eyes. She took a deep breath, centering herself in this impossible place. "All right, little one, let's save reality. No pressure, right?" With newfound resolve, Arya reached out to the nearest timeline thread. The moment her fingers touched the glowing strand, her consciousness exploded outward. She was everywhere and everywhere at once, a prehistoric human discovering fire, an astronaut taking humanity's first steps on Mars, a post-singularity eye pondering the heat death of the universe. Through it all, she felt Nova's presence, a constant anchor in the sea of possibility. Together, they began to weave. Arya's imagination provided the framework, conjuring unlikely connections and improbable events. Nova's innate powers made those possibilities real, stitching together disparate timelines into a resilient new pattern. As they worked, Arya became aware of a haunting melody echoing through the infundibulum. The quantum collective was singing, their energy forms vibrating in perfect harmony with the timelines Arya and Nova were weaving. It was the music of creation itself, a counterpoint to the discordant silence of the encroaching void. The Voidborn pressed closer, their non-presence a hungry maw seeking to devour all that was and could be. Arya felt Nova's fear spike through their connection, but she held firm. "We've got this, kid," she assured the alien child. "Sometimes the most beautiful things come from chaos. Let's show these cosmic party poopers what a little creativity can do." With a burst of inspiration, Arya guided Nova to pluck a series of seemingly random threads. Timelines that had never before intersected suddenly aligned. In one reality, a butterfly's wing beat in ancient China led to the development of cold fusion. In another, the evolution of a particularly musical species of frog resulted in the early discovery of string theory. The new connections rippled outward, creating cascading effects across the multiverse. Improbabilities compounded, impossibilities became certainties, and the very nature of cause and effect began to shift. The Voidborn recoiled, that anti-light essence writhing in confusion. They had come expecting to unravel a neatly ordered tapestry. Instead, they found themselves tangled in a quantum cat's cradle of Aria and Nova's making. "Now, Nova," Aria shouted, her voice somehow carrying through the non-space of the infundibulum. "Bring it all together." Nova's form expanded, growing to encompass the entire web of timelines. For a moment, the alien child was reality itself, every possible past, present, and future contained within its luminous body. With a sound like the birth of a universe, Nova collapsed back to its usual size, the entire multiverse compressing with it. When Aria's vision cleared, she found herself and Nova back aboard the Quantum Collective station. The Voidborn threat had been neutralized, their corrupting influence scattered across countless harmless alternate realities. The quantum beings surrounded them, their energy forms pulsing with what Aria could only interpret as joy and relief. "You've done it," they communicated. "The multiverse is safe, reshaped into a form the Voidborn can never again threaten." Aria looked down at Nova, who blinked up at her with tired but happy eyes. "We did it, kid," she said, her voice filled with wonder. "We really did it." As the realization of their victory sank in, Aria became aware of a subtle shift in her perception. The world around her seemed sharper, more vivid, as if she was seeing it through Nova's multifaceted eyes. And when she looked at the timelines of possibilities stretching out before them, she could almost hear the music of the spheres. "So," Aria asked, a smile tugging at her lips, "what impossible adventure should we tackle next?" Nova's skin shimmered with patterns of stardust and possibility, and Aria knew that their journey was far from over. The multiverse stretched out before them, full of wonders and dangers beyond imagination. But whatever came next, they would face it together, the human explorer and the alien nexus, united by bonds stronger than the very fabric of reality. The memetic singularity. Aria blinked, her enhanced senses struggling to process the bizarre landscape before her. Gone were the sleek lines and impossible geometries of the Quantum Collective station. Instead, she and Nova found themselves in what appeared to be an endless sea of memes. Familiar image macros and viral videos floated by, warping and combining in ways that defied logic. A grumpy cat wearing a dove mask chased a double rainbow made of Nyan Cat's body. In the distance, a mountain composed entirely of stacked Rick Astley gifs loomed ominously. "Okay, this is new," Aria muttered, instinctively pulling Nova closer. The alien child's skin rippled with a pattern of laughing emoji faces, clearly delighted by their surreal surroundings. A disembodied voice boomed around them, accompanied by air horns and a sick beat drop. "VLCUOME to EENMENEETIC singularity, where RELATI and eternity culture, HAVIV BECOME1. Aria winced at the volume. "And you are?" A figure materialized before them, constantly shifting between various meme templates. One moment it was distracted boyfriend, the next woman yelling at cat, then this is fine dog. "I am the collective unconscious of the internet," the figure explained, its voice a cacophony of viral sound bites. "And you, Aria Chen and Nova, have stumbled into the nexus of human creativity and digital chaos." Nova chirped excitedly, reaching out to touch a floating confused math lady meme. The image rippled, transforming into a complex equation that seemed to describe the very nature of meme propagation. "Fascinating," Aria breathed, her enhanced mind beginning to grasp the implications. The memes aren't just images or videos here. They're ideas given form. "Seonjoriculations, UREDAE 1,000,000 THVZTO 2 and this Q1 CPT. The collective unconscious boomed, showering them with digital confetti. The meme-etic singularity is where human imagination and the raw power of viral transmission have merged to create a new form of reality. Aria's scientific curiosity kicked into overdrive. But how is this possible? And what does it have to do with our mission to protect the multiverse? The collective unconscious morphed into the change my mind meme template. The Voidborn aren't just a threat to physical reality, it explained. They seek to erase all forms of creativity and cultural evolution. The meme-etic singularity is the multiverse's immune system, generating antibodies of pure, concentrated human ingenuity. Suddenly, the memescape around them darkened. Corrupted, glitching versions of familiar memes began to appear. Wholesome animal videos twisted into nightmarish shapes, and uplifting quotes became nihilistic manifestos. Oh no, the collective unconscious gasped, transforming into the surprised Pikachu face. The Voidborn have breached our defenses. They're infecting the meme pool with toxic cynicism and despair. Aria felt a chill run down her spine as she watched the corruption spread. How do we stop it? Well, you must be CME, the collective unconscious declared, its form rapid-firing through a series of reaction gifs. Only by fully embracing the chaotic creative potential of the singularity can you generate the positive energy needed to purge the Voidborn's influence. Nova tugged at Aria's sleeve, its skin displaying a montage of motivational poster images. The message was clear. They were ready to take on this bizarre challenge. Aria took a deep breath, centering herself. All right, let's do this. Hit me with your dankest memes. The world exploded into a kaleidoscope of internet culture. Aria felt herself stretching and warping, becoming one with the memescape. She was every viral video, every image macro, every hashtag that had ever trended. Through it all, she felt Nova's presence, the alien child instinctively grasping the flow of human creativity. Together, they surfed the waves of the collective unconscious, generating new memes faster than the Voidborn could corrupt them. Aria as meme took on countless forms. A cat playing Giorno's theme on a piano made of rainbow Pop-Tarts. A motivational poster featuring a skateboarding tardigrade with the caption Resiliency. If water bears can survive the vacuum of space, you can survive Monday meetings. A TikTok dance challenge where participants solved differential equations while moonwalking. With each new creation, waves of positive energy washed through the singularity. Laughter and joy spread like wildfire, pushing back the encroaching darkness of the Voidborn. The collective unconscious cheered them on, its voice a mashup of triumphant movie speeches and viral pep talks. Lo, you are doing it. The power of DNKMEMES compels them. As Aria and Nova's creative frenzy reached its peak, the meme-etic singularity began to pulse with blinding light. Memes from across time and space converged, combining into a single ultimate expression of human creativity and resilience. In a flash of inspiration, Aria realized what they needed to do. Nova, she called out, it's time for the ultimate crossover event. Understanding flowed between them. Nova's alien consciousness merged with Aria's human creativity and the raw potential of the singularity. In that moment, they became a living embodiment of the entire internet's collective imagination. A new meme was born, one that contained within it the essence of every joke, every heartwarming story, every triumph of the human spirit that had ever gone viral. It was a fractal image of a cat riding a unicorn made of binary code, with the simple caption, 404, void not found. The meme exploded outward, replicated across every platform, every timeline, every possible reality. Everywhere it appeared, the Voidborn's influence crumbled, unable to withstand the sheer life-affirming power of humanity's digital legacy. As the light faded and the memescape settled, Aria found herself and Nova back in their original forms. The collective unconscious stood before them, now stable in the form of a wise old man stroking a lengthy beard made of fiber optic cables. "Congratulations," it said, its voice resonating with the hum of a billion servers. "You have safeguarded not just the multiverse, but the very spirit of human creativity. The mimetic singularity will stand as a bulwark against the forces of despair for eons to come." Arya looked down at Nova, whose skin now displayed a constantly shifting stream of their greatest meme hits. "We did it, kid," she said with a grin. "We've officially gone viral across reality itself." As they prepared to return to their own dimension, Arya couldn't help but wonder what bizarre and wonderful adventures awaited them next. Whatever came, she knew that the power of human imagination and a well-timed cat video would see them through. The collective unconscious raised its hand in farewell. "Remember," it intoned sullenly, "with great bandwidth comes great responsibility. Now go forth and keep the memes dank and the spirits high." With a final explosion of confetti and air horn blasts, Arya and Nova vanished from the mimetic singularity, leaving behind a legacy that would be reblogged for eternity. The multiversal mind-meld mashup. Arya and Nova materialized in a swirling vortex of pure thought. Streams of consciousness flowed around them like rivers of light, each one representing the collective knowledge and experiences of entire civilizations. "Welcome to the multiversal mind-meld," a chorus of voices echoed in their heads. The ultimate nexus of all sentient fought across every possible reality. Arya blinked, her enhanced senses struggling to process the sheer magnitude of information surrounding them. "It's beautiful," she breathed. Nova chirped in agreement, its skin shifting through patterns that seemed to mirror the flow of ideas around them. The alien child reached out, gently touching one of the thought streams. Instantly, Arya's mind was flooded with the entire history and culture of a species that evolved from sentient crystals in a dimension of pure sound. "Whoa," Arya gasped, staggering under the weight of the alien knowledge. "That's intense." "Be careful," the chorus of voices warned. "The mind mold contains the sum total of all knowledge, creativity, and emotion across the multiverse. It's easy to lose yourself here." As Arya regained her bearings, she noticed dark tendrils creeping along the edges of the thought streams. The corruption spread slowly but steadily, leaving blank voids in its wake. "The Voidborn," Arya realized with a chill. "They're trying to erase the collective knowledge of the multiverse." Nova trilled urgently, its tendrils waving in agitation. The alien child's skin displayed rapid-fire images of their previous adventures, the Quantum Collective, the chronosynclastic infundibulum, the mimetic singularity. Arya understood instantly. "You're right, kid," she nodded. "Everything we've been through has led us to this moment. We need to use all we've learned to save the mind mold." The chorus of voices resonated with approval. "Yes, you must become the ultimate cosmic influencers, creating a viral surge of creativity powerful enough to overwhelm the Voidborn's erasure." Arya took a deep breath, centering herself. "All right, Nova. Let's blow some multiversal minds." Together, human and alien merged their consciousness with the mind mold. Arya's imagination and Nova's reality-warping abilities combined with the raw creative potential of countless civilizations. Ideas exploded into being. Quantum Cuisine, a cooking show where chefs prepared dishes that existed in multiple states simultaneously, tantalizing taste buds across parallel universes. Schrodinger's Got Talent, a talent competition where performers showcased abilities that were both awe-inspiring and utterly absurd until observed by the judges. Multiversal Mindfulness, a meditation app that allowed users to experience Zen-like states from every possible reality, including dimensions where consciousness itself was the dominant life form. Paradox Parkour, an extreme sport where athletes navigated obstacle courses that defied the laws of physics, looping through their own timelines and quantum tunneling through solid matter. Cosmic Karaoke, a music platform that generated songs by combining the greatest hits from across the multiverse, creating earworms that literally transcended space and time. As Aria and Nova's creations spread through the mind mold, the Voidborn's corruption began to recede. The blank spaces filled with vibrant new ideas, each one a spark of defiance against the encroaching nothingness. But the Voidborn weren't giving up without a fight. They launched a counterattack, bombarding the mind meld with waves of existential dread and nihilistic philosophy. Aria felt the assault threatening to overwhelm them. "We need something bigger," she called out to Nova. "Something that embodies the very essence of creativity and hope." Nova's eyes widened, a look of inspiration crossing its alien features. The child's skin erupted in a dazzling display of fractals and impossible geometries. Aria felt a surge of understanding flow between them. Together, they reached into the deepest wells of the mind mold, drawing upon the purest expressions of imagination from every sentient being that had ever lived or would ever exist. In a blinding flash of inspiration, they created the Omniversal Story Circle, a narrative framework that contained within it the seed of every possible tale, from the grandest space operas to the most intimate personal journeys. It was a story that never ended, constantly evolving and adapting, with each reader/viewer/experiencer becoming both protagonist and author. The story circle exploded outward, permeating every corner of the mind mold. Civilizations that had long since stagnated found new purpose in its endless possibilities. Species on the brink of extinction discovered hope in its infinite potential for renewal. The Voidborn recoiled, their very essence unraveling in the face of such boundless creativity. They had sought to impose a singular, unchanging reality, but the story circle offered infinite realities, each one alive with possibility. As the last traces of the Voidborn faded from the mind mold, Aria and Nova found themselves back in their physical forms, floating in a sea of pure, radiant thought. The chorus of voices returned, now suffused with joy and gratitude. "You have done it. The multiversal mind mold is safe, and with it, the creative potential of all existence." Aria looked at Nova, seeing her own sense of wonder reflected in the alien child's multifaceted eyes. "We really did it, kid," she said softly. "We saved everything." Nova chirped happily, its skin displaying a montage of their journey, from that first meeting in the desert to their final triumph in the heart of the multiverse. As the glow of victory began to fade, Aria felt a tug of uncertainty. "So, what now?" she asked. "Where do we go from here?" The chorus of voices chuckled, a sound like wind chimes in a cosmic breeze. "My dear Aria, that is the beauty of it. Thanks to you and Nova, the story never truly ends. There are always new adventures waiting, new mysteries to unravel, new wonders to discover." Aria grinned, feeling a surge of excitement. She knelt down, looking Nova in the eyes. "What do you say, partner? Ready for our next impossible quest?" Nova's skin shimmered with patterns of starlight and possibility. The alien child reached out, taking Aria's hand in its own. As human and alien stood united, the very fabric of reality seemed to hold its breath in anticipation. The multiversal mind mold pulsed around them, countless thought streams converging to open a portal to their next adventure. Aria squeezed Nova's hand, her voice filled with determination and joy. "Let's go rewrite some stars, kid." With a flash of light and a surge of pure creative energy, Aria and Nova vanished into the unknown. Their legend would echo across the multiverse, inspiring countless beings to look to the stars and dream of impossible things. For in a reality where imagination reigns supreme, there is no force more powerful than the bond between a human explorer and an alien child, united in their quest to keep the story of everything ever-changing, ever-growing, and eternally filled with wonder. The end, or perhaps just the beginning of an even greater adventure.